Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've got this figured out. We're taking a look at Bitcoin, as we love to do every day, because it is a beautiful wave that this thing brings in. Whether the waves are currently up or down, Bitcoin's got a beautiful story to tell. So with that in mind, anyways, here we go. This is the charts. These are the Bitcoin charts right now, currently on the hourly. I want to thank you all right from the get-go for joining us today. About 3 or 4 days ago, I drew this ABC potential to E retracement on the the Elliott corrective wave. One of the things I really like about TradingView, for those of you that don't follow us there, please do. I think TradingView is great. Like I said, we're gonna use it a lot more than we use Twitter from now on. We're gonna make a lot of our posts here. All of our private Bear Den member stuff is all for locked members only, but this is kind of some of the stuff that we're going to just share with everyone. Now, we made this ABCDE retracement idea here with the top out right around this, well, it was supposed to be on this red line, but it was just a little short of it. And as you can see, Bitcoin so far has followed that. Now, one of the reasons I love TradingView is because we get this instant replay. We can see how far off some of my guesses were, which is always a great thing to have. I love the fact that I can record my mistakes and wins and just basically play them back based off whatever I thought a few days ago. So now that we get a little closer to the development of this, a lot of you have been asking in the private Bear Den, is this an ascending triangle? And it's very possible that this is the case. Now, an ascending triangle is often a continuation pattern of the market that it was in, right? It's not always the case too. Please remember that these triangles can go any which way but loose. There's no real definitive direction that it's going to take. But what's nice is it gives you a general idea. So we're probably going to follow this triangle here. Unless we break below it. Again, this is actually acting as a very strong area of support too. As you can see, we're just currently touching on the hourly chart on our 50 EMA, which is a very, very strong area of support and resistance. So we've sliced through it really quickly with a candle, but haven't had volume close below it. Now, if we close with volume below this particular EMA right here, let's give us a little flag or a little arrow button, something like this. If we close below this yellow line here in the next hour, we could see the continuation pattern all the way down to around 71.63. So last night when we were online, we had mentioned, as you can see here, our VPR is actually showing a massive area of support and resistance right at the 79.90 area. So in the private Bear Den Telegram, a note went out to everyone saying that this was a really interesting area to keep an eye on and that we expected a breakdown below this. There was a lot of confirming ideas that we were going to go lower. Now what's interesting here is that generally in an ascending triangle, you'd want the peak of that last top, this one here, to actually come through to the same top. And the fact that it's sitting a little lower, again, is one of the ideas that I'm leading myself potentially into this continued downtrend. Now, first off, again, I had mentioned this many times before, and I will continue to mention this. I think if you do not have exposure to this space or this asset class, the best thing you can do is consistently educate yourself and acquire a little bit more, not just education, but maybe a little bit more Bitcoin or Litecoin, whatever it is, whatever you want to follow down the path. Again, none of this is trading advice, but I think often what's happened is people are waiting too long just to learn more about this space instead of making an entry. And I think once you make the entry, you start to learn all the valuable things like, how this works as money, what's wrong with the financial system at large, what kind of problems Bitcoin and the blockchain world can solve in that space, and one of the reasons why Bitcoin becomes so valuable in that particular sector. Now, I think it's pretty obvious, at least to me, there's a reason why Satoshi decided that there's only 21 million Bitcoin. And for those of you that don't yet know, it's probably one of the greatest fucking marketing ploys ever. Because as we grow, look, think about it. If everyone tried to buy one Bitcoin today, it would be impossible to do. That's a really good deflationary concept. That means we're going to be forced into likely looking at the value of Bitcoin in Satoshis. We'll likely get to a day when instead of talking about how many Bitcoins something costs, it might be how many Satoshis is it? Or any variation of these ideas. So we're definitely in a big testing area right now on the 1 hour. So this is what I'm keeping an eye on, this EMA, right? So again, what's really important here, guys, is first off, I'm always trying to learn more. I always realize that there's an infinite amount of room for me to continue to educate myself of what's taking place. So when we look on the 30-minute here, we can actually see that we've bounced on this 50 EMA as well. And we just, again, sliced right through it with a candlestick, and then we've seen a very definitive bounce back up. Now, this is the last little vestige of support we have until we drop down to around, what is this, 74.91 and 72.19. So we're going to get to find out today whether we are in that ascending triangle, or do we continue the Elliott wave correction. Now, look, I'm going to say something a lot of you aren't going to like, and I've said this a few days ago, and we're going to have Tyler. Well, first off, hold on, let's put this in the correct order. There's a feeling I have inside my tummy that says Bitcoin's going to go to like $1,200 still. Now, I know everyone because we put that as a potential target, everyone gave us flack because no one really understands what the hell it is Arcane Bear does for myself. But look, I'm not concerned about what Bitcoin's price is. I want more of it. I don't give a shit what price it's at, because it's very valuable, at least to my understanding. Now, there's a time in any situation in the universe where you can make anything worthless by destroying the infrastructure of the society. It's actually a privilege to decide something has a value, because that means we're no longer living in a world of survival. If we were to ever go back to the necessity for a world of just survival, things can drastically change in the appearance of what's valuable. Hence, food and water might outweigh the need for any gold in Bitcoin, depending on where you are. This is a very noticeable thing, is to understand the difference between survival and the privilege of something valuable. Because I'll repeat that again, value is a privilege. It is not a right for us to be able to assert speculation and wild ideas. So with Bitcoin here on the 30-minute chart, if I actually go out to the 1 hour, you can see some of this a little more clearly. Again, so I think that there's two potential forming possibilities here. The first one is this ABCDE retracement. And again, I have a big alert set here for the crossing at 67.65, as well as 68.75. These are important areas for me. We broke through our first target last night at 77.90, and again, we've touched this EMA. So technical analysis isn't necessarily here as a predictor. It's here to give us like almost instantaneous data, like almost like a read on the heartbeat of the ecosystem and the sentiment itself. So what's important again is when we get into these smaller time frames, we can start to see that, okay, we've broke through this particular EMA, we've gone red, and on the bear claw, we have not once been able to get above the break point of the bear claw's outer claw. So once we get up to here, we're likely going to test the mid range of this outer claw, and then come back down to test these areas. So the blue lines that I have drawn here are big buy and sell walls. So there's a big buy wall down at 65.88. Like there's a massive amount of money up here that's looking to buy, and there's also a massive amount of money up here looking to sell. So these are our two sell ranges between 83.50 and 8400 essentially. Again, what's important here is that you've got a lot of buy pressure coming in at 65.95. It's actually a huge chunk in between 7,200 and 69.95. And because we broke down below the volume profile support, it's likely going to try to drag us downwards. So that's going to do one of two things. Either it's going to A, validate our ABCDE, or it's going to B, invalidate this ascending triangle. Either one of these are good because it's going to give us, again, a better understanding about the heartbeat of the markets as they grow. So if we zoom out, look at the 1 hour and just compare some of these subtleties here, there's actually mostly sell pressure right now up at 83.70, and there's not a whole lot of buy pressure on the hourly. If we go out to the daily chart, we can actually see that there's a little change in that gap, and that there's a massive amount of buy pressure down here at 65.30, 6,000, as well as 31.50. So people still have a shit ton of money put on for these lower targets, whereas there's not a whole lot of sell pressure here on the top. Now this can actually equal a very bullish idea, because there's no one really willing to sell anything above here on the daily, but there's a lot of people willing to buy down here, right? So we know that there's a lot of pressure for the buying that's trying to come into the market, and there's not a whole lot of pressure that's trying to sell, which could equal a very, very bullish movement in a short period of time. So everyone's been speculating, do we continue to just into a bull market? And I don't know why, but there's this feeling that I've had that there's the ultimate pain and anger that the Bitcoin space, that we see in this, the Wall Street cheat sheet. So there's two ways to look at it, right? There's one that, okay, we could say that potentially we're in the disbelief area, and Tiho's got it wrong. Oh, this is just a sucker's rally. It's going to come back down lower. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe this is the sucker's rally, or the disbelief. This is the sucker rally thought. right? And then we come back down, we test the $6,200 area, and then just break out like madmen. But we really have to keep a close eye on it because we don't know. But there's something in my gut that's saying, you know, the ultimate pain threshold for Bitcoin is down near like $2,200 to $1,200. And that wouldn't it be almost ironic for us to come up this high and just go, get slammed down to the bottom, and everyone and their dog in the mainstream media would be like, see, we told you Bitcoin was a Ponzi scheme, it's dead. Like, we didn't really get that when Bitcoin was at $3,000. We got a little bit of murmur. There wasn't a whole lot of talk. Even on the mainstream media right now, you know, they're not ranting and raving about Bitcoin going up to $8,000. So we don't see any clear indication from the mainstream. Yet in our ecosystem, we see a lot of bull talk, and that bull talk is often one of the worries that we've gotten to a top. So again, here I'm not married to a direction. Again, like I said, there's still a potential that we could come dropping back down to $1,200. But in the meantime, there's just as much potential that we could go to $12,000. That's why what I've recommended here is that anyone in this space should keep a really close eye on, I think first off, watch your long-term indicators, but also get into the minutia. Try to watch like the important stuff that's going on the 4 hour. See, on the 4 hour, we've been on a short on the break of our cloud here. We're just testing the middle of the bear claw, which is a really important area. If we close below the middle of the bear claw again here with volume around 76.59, it's likely going to validate our ABCDE retracement. If it doesn't, it will invalidate that and maybe continue that ascending triangle, which again will give us two ideas here. It will give us the potential for the breakout to around the $9,400 to $10,200 area, or B, the breakdown of that triangle too, because again, just because a continuation pattern is following something doesn't mean it needs to go that direction. I've seen a beautifully aligned ascending triangle break the opposite direction in a continuation pattern. So again, if you're interested in like the nitty gritty of technical analysis and watching the charts and finding best entries and best exit, I think one of the most intelligent things you can do is really start to dive in and dig in with any extra time that you have, right? You know, for all of you that are private Bear Den members, we've got the non-advice trading manual that we've been building, which is that we put out a new chapter every 2 weeks, things like how to use your Fibonacci retracement tools, how to use exponential moving averages, you know, what are all these tools good for, what to look for, like different chart patterns, like ascending triangles. So we're building the education for all the private Bear Den members, but if you guys want, you can find everything you want for free. It just takes a little more effort and energy on your part to generally go down that path. So I'm going to take a look at a few of the other tokens as well. But again, remember here, Bitcoin is the most important character in this story to me. I don't really care what Litecoin's price is at unless I think Litecoin is currently undervalued. And then I will take a position for very short term because I believe you can acquire more Bitcoin that way. But I think playing a long-term hodl position in anything else is probably a bad idea. If you see profits in another token, you put it back into Bitcoin and you re-aggregate your trading data essentially, right? So I'm going to take a look again here. If we go, let's take a little bit of a closer look at the 5 minute and the 3 minutes. I think it's really good to get down into the nitty gritty. It just gives you a much more colorful and interactive story. So here we are in the 5 minute. We broke through on the sell side. This little sell balloon here. We broke through, we tweezered, which is usually a very nice turnaround signal. We've come right up to the middle of the bear claw. Now, if we don't close above the middle of the bear claw with volume, we're going to come careening back down. But I think it's likely that we're going to try to come up to the top of the bear claw here. And see on the 5 minute, you can see this EMA crossing that's taking place. This is very important to keep an eye on as well. On the 5 minute, when you see either 3-5 or I guess often quite more importantly is the 15 minute, because these represent longer moves into the hourly long charts, is the crossover of this yellow chart back into the blue. Now, when we hit this on our last one, we actually put a really big flag here. We said, hey guys, look, this is a big worry moment. The EMAs are about to cross, and if you actually go back here, you can see our waves theory position on that EMA cross. Let's take one more step back. So Arcane Bear profile. Just give me a second here, ladies and gentlemen. Bear family alike. Smash that thumbs up if you guys can while you're waiting for me to go through this. But here, this is the first sign of weakness post I made of the day. This was on May 16th. So as you can see, there's this flag, this little heart flag here. And the last time we had crossed the 15-minute EMA, which is an important one in my view, we came dropping down instantaneously. So here's, again, I can't edit this stuff. This is why I love TradingView. These are the remarks I made. And then as soon as we crossed, bam, it fell down, right? And that's why I started to think we might see that A, B, C, D, E retracement. So it's really, really important to keep an eye on these EMAs. Now, if this EMA can't break through the cloud either, again, this is signaling just more downside potential. So I keep a close, when I'm in a trade, when I'm in any trade, I watch really, really closely. Even if I'm not in a trade, I want to learn something about what's happening, I'll watch it. I'll like be doing my workouts, I'll be cooking. I make sure that I'm paying attention on the smaller time frames, because again, I think you get a much better feeling for what the market's heartbeat is like when you can pay attention to those things. So again, we see the EMA crossing taking place right now on the 5-minute. This is not a bullish indicator. It's very likely that, it's also very likely that we actually try to come back up to test the 79.60 area. But it's also good to keep in mind that on the daily and the hourly chart, you have well, actually it's only on the hourly, isn't it? I think up to the 4-hour. Yeah, let's double check. So I think it goes all the way up to the 4-hour on with the data here, maybe even a little further out, but let's check. Yeah, so on the 4-hour we actually have excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's only on the 1 hour. Okay, so currently on the 1 hour, and this will probably extend for the next 12, we have a lot of support and resistance coming in at around 79.19 to 79.90. So I do suspect we'll probably try to come test that area. If we can't break out above that 7,900 to 70 to 8,000, that around that with that $100 gap there, that doesn't signal a lot of strength for me at the moment. And again, I think this is a really important time to be paying attention to, especially as any would-be traders might be entering the market, or would-be investors even, is again, this is one of the best times to learn what the market's heartbeat is like, because you get so much momentum when we're up this high. Like if you look at the crypto fear and greed index, we're sitting at a nice 73 today. It was 70 yesterday. Again, keeping an eye on basically all the sentimental markers in this market is extremely important. So again, here our EMA has actually crossed below here, and this is again on the 30-minute. These are the ones you're going to want to keep an eye on, is just scroll through each of your ideas and see where are we testing the EMAs. We're currently stuck on the 15-minute between these two. This is a very, very important place to watch. If this EMA can't make it above and then turns around and comes to cross down, I believe we're coming down to around 60. Well, we'll probably have to break through 7,200 first, but the area of my target was around 68.80, probably for whether it's a candle wick or with volume. Again, this is going to give us a much clearer indication. So I'm sure a lot of you would like me to take a look at Litecoin and Bitcoin as well. Sorry, Litecoin and Ethereum. So we'll start off with Litecoin on the daily chart here. You know, I was really interested. So for those of you, again, in the private Bear Den members, we got a short signal come in at around 15,719 satoshis. So I've been out of the small Litecoin position we took at the beginning of the bull movement in Bitcoin. And now we're looking for potential re-entries here because of its relationship to the last time it touched this EMA. Now, again, there's still a lot of downside potential if Bitcoin moves upwards for around another 10% to test this bottom EMA. Now, I only trade in Bitcoin versus Litecoin or Bitcoin versus Ethereum because I don't care what it is in US dollars, because if you're paying attention to US dollars, you still don't know why Bitcoin's valuable, and you're looking at this system all wrong. This whole ecosystem has been building off the trading capacity between Bitcoin and other currencies for fucking years. Not just the US dollar is almost irrelevant in the ecosystem itself, aside from an on-ramp or an off-ramp. This whole world has been building, you know, the ability to trade between Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? So I take the more progressive approach and I look at it from, okay, what's going on in the relationship between these other baby Bitcoins and like a granddaddy Bitcoin, right? Litecoin to me is just another baby Bitcoin. And I think that's extremely important to understand what I'm trying to say there, because it makes a big difference in the story. So if we roll down to the 1 hour, again, we can see that we haven't been able to break above the cloud, above the bear claw here in the last few days. Although again, you know, we did see some big spikes. So I think what's important is if we start to see certain areas of, if you're into more the day trading stuff, which is some of the things I like to do when I have more free time, here we see a little bit of bullish divergence, right? Here we have a falling price target with a rising RSI. We're likely going to get a nice little bounce out of Litecoin here, probably in the next day or two for around 6%, probably around up to the 12,000 Satoshi mark. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this. If it's a little shorter, you see it bounce up to here for probably about 4 or 5%. Same with Ravencoin. We're getting a few signals come in that are looking like some little day trades that we like to play with all the private Bear Den members. Again, if you want to join the private Bear Den, it's $30 a month. It comes with education, a fantastic community of people that are like-minded and helpful. That way, if I'm not around, there's a shit ton of other people that are able to help answer your guys' questions. I'm very grateful for all the administrators and all the supportive people that have entered this community and really helped grow to make it what it is, because it has a lot less to do with me and a heck of a lot more to do with you guys, and I'm deeply grateful for that. You can also join our free Telegram channel by going to the links below, or like I said, you can join our private Bear Den members area. That just helps us grow in general. Every month we've been able to produce 1 or 2 chapters, infographics, updates on the newsletter, notes, again, all this community support. It's just a relentless push of content to all of the private Bear Den members, because we want to make sure that your value into us is more value back out into you guys. That's really the whole game plan here. So thank you for supporting us at the early stages. This is essentially month 2, so the second newsletter will be coming out here in the next 10 days. Ooh, that's actually really close. Got to make sure I get all the cool like PDF formatting and stuff done. We also do deep dives. Our legal counsel once a month goes into the people behind the team, the code, all this fun stuff, how much money they raised, if they raised money, all that cool stuff. So you guys get a shit ton of value from the private Bear Den member sign up. So check that out. Again, I'm going to take a look at Ethereum here, but I'm much more interested in Ravencoin than Ethereum. But Ethereum's got a really nice looking bull flag taking place. So again, it's actually right at the bottom of this channel. So I would suspect, or not suspect, but that we've got a potential for a downside of 6%, right? So this is too risky of a trade for me to really be excited about, because there would be a downside potential of 6% for an upside potential of 9%. So I would want to see a little bit of a retrace up here. It would just be it's just maybe a little bit too risky on either direction for me to be interested in like a short-term trade. But let's look at the daily and give a little more value, or we're going to need the weekly, I guess, a little more value for any of those would-be long-term holders of Ethereum. We've broken below the sell here. Our original sells, both for myself, came out at around $400, back around here at around 5 million Satoshis, and it's been in a downward channel ever since then. So we've seen no clear indication of an entry point. I think up until recently, no, even recently, we're still below a sell. What about on the 1 day? Yeah, on the 1 day, we've just actually gone on a very short-term long. Does that make sense? A short long. And there's a potential for a 14% upside here for really quick too, to test these top EMAs. So there's always a lot of potential. You guys kind of just got to do your own hunting, and that's what we do in the private Bear Den together. We go hunting together. I guess it's the best way to call it. Everyone has to hunt their own animals. We're not going to hunt for you, but we all get to go hunting together. And again, Raven's one of those ones I've been really excited about, because today alone is representing a 5% gain against Bitcoin's negative 5%. So it really, you're looking at a positive average if you know how to pivot. I think you could even look at Raven to some degree in this movement as almost as a short against Bitcoin, because like I said, I never short Bitcoin. But look here, the other day when we had a long signal come in to the private Bear Den member, that was almost a 40% gain. I know there's a bunch of you that were able to profit off that, and that's huge. That's 30 to 40% in only a day's time. It's absolutely brilliant, beautiful. Anyways, thank you all for joining us today. For those of you that asked how my date was, it was fantastic. I had a beautiful woman over the other evening. We made dinner, we make some music, but something unexpected happened. There's a girl that I've been friends with for the last few months, and she came over the other night, and lo and behold, apparently she decided she wanted to be a little closer with me. So Tio might have a girlfriend. I mean, it's not really up to me. Like, I have no say in any of this shit. So this is what I'm saying, might. I have no fucking clue what happened. but I might have a girlfriend. So we're going to find out. We'll keep everyone posted. Thank you all for your love and your support. I'm sure a lot of you know it means a lot to me. You can always tell my excitement in my voice when I have more companionship in life in general. I do live in the middle of the jungle, in the middle of nowhere. So actually, I'm going to end the show off here by taking a look at some of your guys' questions. I know you love when I rant, and I do have more time this morning to rant with you. So instead of just looking at the charts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave Bitcoin open here for now. I'm going to answer your guys' questions as best I can, rant and rave like Tiho likes to do. And then from there, we'll see if I can provide you guys just that extra little bit of salty value that I like to bring to the table every now and then. So I'll roll up here. D. Guide says, "What is happening to salt?" I've never touched salt. We chatted with them almost 2 years ago, but again, it's impossible to pay attention to. There's a lot of great company with a lot of great potential, but most of them always fail anyways. It takes a real great driver of an F1 car to fucking win the race, right? If you don't win the race, nobody remembers who you are. It's like you could be MySpace. People still remember MySpace, but they don't remember it as the winner of the race. They remember it as the people that lost the race. So it's there. D-Greed says all the weekends are out. No, I disagree with that. You have no idea what you're saying if you think that's the case. There's a lot of whales that come online. So that's an unacceptable answer. So, and look, anytime someone says it can never go under a certain price value again, guys, just remember that's dollars stacked up on the bet that it can. Because anytime you say there's something impossible, the universe is happy to prove you fucking wrong. And because you mostly are wrong all the time. So again, there's reason to believe Bitcoin could go to $1,200 just as much as it could go to $12,000. But what I want everyone to remember is that it shouldn't fucking make a difference. Most people don't have enough money for it to make a difference, right? You should just be finding exposure to this space and educating yourself, because most people will just wait and they'll never do anything. Instead of just firing the cannon, if you want to put $100 in and buy Litecoin, bang, do it. If you want to put $500 in and buy Bitcoin, just fucking do it. Don't look at the price. Educate yourself and make an investment in something that you think is going to be conceptually valuable over the long term. We only do technical analysis because it gives us the range of opportunity to understand a story that might be taking place in front of us. And to do that, you have to look at everything. Only the arrogant and the fucking ignorant don't look at the downside potential and think, oh yeah, it could just go up. It's not because I'm hoping with all my heart that it goes down because I need more Bitcoin. It's the only way I'll ever be successful. No, that's fucking stupid. There's innumerable ways that you might be successful. You might make $150 million from starting a goddamn beverage company. I have no idea what you might do to become successful, and that's the whole point. You might not know either. So why get upset about something that you don't understand? Because if you're lucky, you have a whole life ahead of you to create and continue to provide value for other people. And that's what this space, I think, should initially be about, is really understanding that people make a shit ton of money off all sorts of ideas, right? There are a shit ton of people that have made way more money off not Bitcoin than people that have made from Bitcoin, right? There's people that have made hundreds of millions of dollars from my mentor started a company called Silk Almond Milk. This is a multi-billion-dollar company now. He started it with $500, right? $500. People just don't understand how much value there is. See, it's just fucking almonds and water. $1 billion company. What are you talking about? Once I realized that was possible, the whole game changed. I realized I had been looking at it wrong. And I think too many in this space have never been successful, don't have any money, and they think, oh, I could never, it's like, oh, $1,200, it's $10 million. Look, if you realize what true value and wealth is in your life, there is an endless chance for you to find out that you are wealthy and abundant and rich in character. It's usually right at your fingertips. So don't neglect it just thinking Bitcoin is the only way that you can be successful. It really hurts me to hear all these people that are so emotional about price targets, because it just goes to show how childish, or let's not say childish, but how either under, I don't know, inexperienced they probably are in the rest of the business space. So I hope that everyone understands that, there's this hope. This is never the last opportunity. If you're making some of these days like, oh, it'll never go to to $1,000. It's like, man, anything is possible. Look, we could have a meteorite smash into the planet and Bitcoin will go to zero almost if that happens, because everything will. If we get sent back into a world of survival, there's no fucking value. We lose that privilege. So a big part of the question would be, well, what could happen that would make us lose our privilege to have value and in that type of comfort? Look, you could have a big CME that came in and destroyed most of the internet infrastructure, and we go right back to fucking learning how to hunt and gather. We are a primitive species that could be thrown back to the Stone Age in a blink of an eye, and I guarantee you that's going to put Bitcoin below $1,200, because all of a sudden the only thing people are going to care about is food and fucking water. Anyway, so please keep that in mind. Don't say dumb shit. Anything is possible. It's just really important to remember that. If you're too caught up in price targets, it means you're not paying attention to the bigger story. You need to know that anything is possible, and from there, you're much more likely to be successful. Let's take a look at a few more of the questions. Yay, girlfriend! I know, right? I know, so random. I'm super excited. You guys want to see a photo? Should I show you a photo of my potential girlfriend? Do you even care? You care. You guys care. I'm sure you care. You care that you don't care. Oh, look, it's Matthew Silver, Love Fart Magic. For any of you guys that know or Matthew Silver, I've never seen this. This is one of my great friends. Follow him. He's a fantastic street performer. He's a really, really great guy. I guess we're kind of on the Tio Rants part of the story. So again, thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate your support. Thumbs and views, and join our community. All those fun things I should probably have just flowing on the side of the screen. One of you guys asked him if I'm still following Engine. Yes, but only I'm not. I don't hodl anything other than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the only one I work on acquiring more of. Everything else I see as short-term flips. So, I probably don't want to show you this necessarily, do I? Okay, here, I'm gonna find a better way to do this. I'm gonna find a sexier, smarter way to do this. It doesn't matter. She's a beautiful girl. Hopefully, I have no idea what's going to happen. Like I said, I have no choice. It seems like I have no choice over this. It seems like if the women decide that I'm going to be their partner, that's what happens. If they decide that I'm not going to be their partner, then that's what happens. I have very little to do with those things. Every time there's been a woman that's been interested in me, she makes up her mind, and then all of a sudden, that's my new partner. It doesn't have a whole fucking lot to do with me. It seems like they're in charge as far as I can tell. Anyways, I don't know. No, I'm gonna show you anyways. Who cares? If you want, we'll check it out. Your Instagram.com. I don't even think I'm fucking following her on Instagram. Moni. Her name's Moni, by the way, like money. Oh no, I don't want to show anyone this. Okay, it doesn't matter. Another day. You guys don't want to see any of this. I apologize. I wish I could edit that out. Let's take another look. At your guys' questions. I get super excited about having companionship in my life. It means so much to me. We were doing art the other night. She's painting. I'm playing guitar. That's so much to me. Let's take last few questions, guys. Do you think BTG has a lot lower to go? I'm not sure. Bitcoin Gold. Again, I don't really look at other Bitcoins. Dolphin says, I've misplaced Bitcoin. Oh, misplacing 3 Bitcoin will help you learn. That's a damn truth, hey? I don't mind probabilities. Good. Where's your friend's photo? Okay, I'll show you guys. I'll show you on my phone. So I don't want to flood her Instagram with people and shit, I don't even know why I did that for a second. It just seems silly. Okay, I will show you because you did ask. And it'll help. It'll be fun. Give me something to do. We'll sit online. Hell, if I stay here for a few more minutes, you guys might be able to get me for another hour or something anyways, right? So who knows what happens. Maybe at this point I'm super excited, so I end up staying online a lot longer. Okay, oh my god, it's just so much cuteness. So much cuteness, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, hold on. We'll see this. This is for all the Bear members that are very supportive of my crazy. Oh, hold on. Very supportive of my crazy. Look how sweet that face is. Such a sweetheart. Anyways, Tio's happy. Tio's made some new friends this week. Like I said, I live in the middle of the jungle. I could show you guys. I think we'll do a few videos where we're back outside, where we're doing the vlogs again. Like I said, I've been trying to get back into that. I'm gonna set up a chair outside, so maybe I can go live from outside. Again, let's take a look at a few more of your guys' questions, and maybe we even just keep me around here. The girl you took to the crypto meetups last year was good looking. Oh yeah, thank you. What's nice is I seem to be able to attract some pretty powerful fucking women. Luckily for me, because you're right, the woman that I went to the crypto meetups last year was like, oh shit, they've all been 10s. Thank you, universe. I don't even know why I get depressed. I don't even know why. You have nothing to complain about. Everything is amazing. Make sure she wants your heart only. Yeah, she's not. Do you like Neo still? Okay, so you guys are wanting me to look at a few more of the tokens, like Neo or PPT. Again, I don't touch anything for the long term. I tried to make this very apparent last year. I don't think I did a good enough job of it because I was focused on some other things that were just fucking draining me of all the energy I had. But I only look at the other tokens as a way to acquire more Bitcoin on the short term. I do think some of them have massive potentials, and there I look for what I call like the daily entries, which any one of the Bear family member private den members get access to. Again, we do share that with you guys here, although it's a hell of a lot less noticeable. We don't talk about it specifically. We're just like, oh yeah, do baby Bitcoins. If you can figure out what the fuck I'm saying by baby Bitcoins, all the power to you. Like, and so here's a good question. What type of crypto wallet do you use? Okay, well, we've got one of the original Ledger wallets right here, back from 2010. We've got the Ledger Nano S right here. We've got the Trezor over here. I've got this cool brick version, which is like the Ledger Blue, and I've also got one of the original. Okay, this is one of the original ledgers. I don't know if you guys have seen these, and I wish they had them again. This was one of my favorites. So this is what a ledger wallet looked like in 2012. It was like a little USB stick. Like, oh wow, I've hidden it. There we go. There's the USB. Oh, look how fucking. Can you see how all the green on there from the rust? That's how wet the jungle is. There's rust on my ledger. Jesus. I should probably make sure it's a good thing we all have seed phrases, right? Because this thing is just destroyed. But anyways, the fun part about this is, and I really like these, is it's like one of the old 90s wristband. Like, how fucking cool is that? These are the best. Like, what an awesome wallet. I mean, you can't use it. Like, if you could pay with it too, it'd be amazing. You can't plug it into anything other than your computer. But damn, that shit's so cool, right? I mean, this was my favorite Ledger wallet that they had. I hope they come out with more versions like this, because this was just such a dope version. Anyone from the 90s loves these things, right? Like, oh, hold on. Yes. Anyways, that's that. I think Ledger, Trezor are great ways to go. They've been around for a long time. Just make sure you buy them from somewhere that's what do you call it? Don't buy it from Amazon. Buy it from the actual website, or make sure it's from a direct affiliate link. You can go to arcanebear.com and you can buy them, but it just brings you to Trezor. All we do is that we link them to Trezor or to Ledger. Again, I have a few of these things. Trezor and Ledger are the best way to go. It depends how much money you're storing. These brick-like ones that are more visual. This comes with like a fireproof hard case and shit. It's waterproof. These ones are this is a much different, like, this is more like your bank version. This reminds me of like, I'm going out for the day. I need some cash in my pocket. Like, super, super fun, right? Anyways, that's my thoughts on the Ledger wallets. What's up with PPT? They are selling? I have no idea. Like I said, guys, this stuff, I don't touch this stuff for longer than maybe a week or two at a time at most, if I see a potential. So you want me to look at PPT, but I'll just okay. Let's see if it even shows up on any of our tickers. Populous to Bitcoin on Binance. Populous is on Binance now? Good fucking riddance. How the hell did Digibyte not make it on there? Anyways, okay. Like I said, I don't touch any of this stuff because I wait for signals that show me it's interesting, and there's not a single thing here that makes Populous look interesting. Now, when we were back here, these looked interesting. These spikes were interesting to us. There's a consolidation. Oh, actually, check this out. Okay, so here's what's fun is just from the hunting standpoint. Like I said, at the private bear den, a lot of the times what we're doing is it feels like we're kind of hunting together. So I don't like Populous necessarily. It doesn't look like it's in a good area for me, but there is something here that does look interesting, and that's this is actually a really beautiful, I'm gonna have to open this up a little bit more so it's a little more noticeable. See how we have a falling price and a rising RSI? This is what's known as a bullish divergence. This means there's likely a quick shot upwards for Populous. Now how high that shot up is, it could be 100, it could be quite big actually. But again, there's just too much downside risk at the current moment because there's no real way to show that there's a floor. The only nice thing that I see is that we have a falling price versus a rising RSI, and this can turn into a very bullish indicator. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll put Populous on here. We'll keep this little bullish divergence drawn on the chart to keep an eye on it. That way, if it does spike, we can at least have a reference point for this potential breakout. You know, because there could be a big move here. You know, from this to this. But again, I don't suggest it. This just looks like there's too much downtrend. And see how it's not once been able to go above the bottom of the bear claw? This is why the bear claw is so awesome. Like if you guys don't have the bear claw, please go and download it from our scripts here. Follow us on TradingView. We've got the bear claw and the eagle crossing. Remember to give us a thumbs up. Look, 67 of you guys have already liked this script so far. Thank you so much. That's huge. That means a lot to me, you guys. We've had almost as many likes as we have followers on TradingView. You guys are fucking champions. Again, remember we do post. We're going to be posting more scripts. We're going to be giving away some more free indicators. We've got some great shows coming up for you guys. We've got Brock Pierce, June 11th. We've got Didi Tauti hopefully coming up soon as well. He's the Bitcoin family. They're the Bitcoin family, the family that sold everything for Bitcoin back in 2014. He's become a great friend of mine, a big supporter of the Arcane Bear as well. We've got chatting with Tyler Jenks and Leah. I forget Leah Wald. Hopefully have them both on the show again in the next. I think hopefully this week if we can, we'll have Tyler back in the show. We can chat about the hyperwave idea and both all the potentials that look ahead of us. Again, I think, like I said, the most important thing here, ladies and gentlemen, Bear family alike, is to just aggregate as much content as you possibly can. It's, I think, the smartest way to go, and the easiest way to learn is to really just bring in as much data and as much information and listen to everyone, but don't listen to anyone, or listen or hear everyone, but don't action what anyone tells you. The best thing you can do is aggregate as much content and data so you can make your best decision for who you are. So again, here on the 5-minute, look at these EMAs trying to fight, but it just crossed over here. Boom. So we see the first cross of the EMA on the 5-minute, and again, you're just going to want to see that happen through each of these time frames. So again, on the 15-minute, we don't actually see that cross coming in near at all, but we definitely want to see. Bitcoin's going to try to break above 77.90 right now. If it can't do that, it's going to come back down here and test 75.86. Do we cut? Yeah, I can't tell you if you guys want to cut. Everything is up to your own advice on that one. They said it the next Monero. Can you look at Darrow? No, I don't know what Darrow is. It's to be too much for me to look. I mean. Okay, we'll look at the charts, but I have no fucking clue. No, it doesn't even show up, so I can't. But on the side note, you know, Monero is actually one of the ones that's been interested to us because it fits in the idea of the baby Bitcoin syndrome. We'd been actually accumulating a little bit of Dash over the last little while. So let's take a look at Monero because it's in my mind it's a baby Bitcoin. Ooh, look at that downtrend. Falling price, we had a rising RSI here just for that little bounce. Again, with Bitcoin's price move, that was most noticeable in most of the markets, but for only 10%, who gave a shit? Raven gave us 40 or 50, so did Engine, so did Flow. You know, it's all about, I guess, risk management. It doesn't, you know, Monero could actually see a nice jump here, but I'm not interested in it yet at all. Not for acquisition. Although, whereas I had been actually accumulating small amounts of Dash over the last little while, which was nice. Represent a nice little jump. So I'll just keep answering your guys' questions and kind of roll through. Let's see here, what time we're at. We're at 43 minutes, so I'm going to give you guys another 15 minutes of time here. I love answering your guys' questions and ranting. So it's just easier. So yeah, Javier, I can't look at Darrow because it's not on TradingView, and I don't want to just look at it on CoinGecko right now. Do you think the Disney Magic Band wallet will work outside of the Parks property one day? Again, I don't think a big part of this is about spending it yet. You want money circulation in a money system, obviously. But I have a really big bet on Bitcoin being remittance, and then atomic swaps between things like Litecoin, Digibyte, Raven, Flow, all the baby Bitcoins essentially being where the real currency transactions start to take place. With those people actually spending money on things like a fucking Disney Magic store or some stupid shit. That's going to come from probably not Bitcoin. If you're doing that with Bitcoin now, you're going to look back one day. Well, first off, you need to keep Bitcoin moving. Like the guy who spent money on all the pizzas, right? It's like, Bitcoin needs circulation to be valuable. If it's not circulating, it's not valuable. It will start to lose part of its value. It can't just be a store. It still needs to circulate as a store of value, but we don't know how high that value might be for it to circulate. Like I said, Bitcoin could be worth billions of dollars per Bitcoin one day to become a store of value that's a remittance structure, whereas Litecoin might be worth significantly less, but acts much better as a Bcash or whatever, because maybe Bcash... Right, the whole thing Roger Ver hasn't figured out is that to have a cash, you need a money. To have a currency, you need a money. You can't just have cash without money. Fucktard. Like, how do you think you know so much about the space but can't understand this simple concept? It's just mind blowing to me. So again, I don't negate the fact that currencies could become very valuable over the next few years, but for those to have any value, you need a sound money first, and that's what Bitcoin answers. Everything else is just a speculation based off money, and money is more valuable than currency by far. Currency is nothing in comparison of global transactions that take place. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look at a few more of your guys' questions. If you were going to hold only and not trade, which would you buy now to hold other than Bitcoin? Again, for instance, let's go back to early 2017. In early 2017, if you set up the top 20 coins on a dartboard and played darts just once, you would have come out ahead thousands of %. Now, which one? And it's good to diversify. Maybe there's some failures, and maybe if it had all been in Bitcoin, it would have been better. But it only would have been better if you sold at the fucking top. And most people don't know how to do that. That's why what I think we're doing here is so important, is so that when you see massive spikes, you can take that value and put it into property, or put it into starting your own new fucking private pineapple healthy beverage company. I have no idea what it's going to be, but if you just sit on assets as they appreciate and then depreciate, you're not really acquiring anything. All you're doing is just making a bigger potential for a mistake and a loss, because it might hurt you. So again, when a big part of this is learning how to take and reorganize and reassess what your portfolio should look like. So if you just made $1 million in Bitcoin, you don't own any fucking property, you don't own any gold, you don't just hold Bitcoin when it's at $20,000, you diversify your portfolio, unless you're a fucking retard. And that's what's the most difficult, is we're all retarded. We're all human beings. We're all, like, by nature flawed to get greedy and not do the smart thing, which is to aggregate into new areas. So I think what's extremely important is people learn how to redistribute their own wealth into their own life when they have the ability to take it, right? So maybe a Bitcoin is at top of $20,000. You say, I'm just going to hold it because it's going to go to $100,000. But at that time, if you had sold it and you maybe paid for your mom's medication because she wasn't feeling well, and then Bitcoin drops, and now you can buy back more of it and still have had paid for your mom's medication, you fucking won, dude. Because you need to be, like, if you need money to take care of your family, you don't just hodl your profits. You're supposed to fucking enjoy your life, right? So I think a big part of this for most people is going to be able to learn how to, when there's highs, redistribute. When there's lows, acquire more. When there's highs, redistribute. When there's lows, acquire more, right? I made a post the other day. It was super fucking funny on Facebook, right? And this is what the post was. It had been Raven in a downtrend for the last month. They're like, oh, that's a horrible chart. And my specific sentiment was that most people don't have the vision. All they have is the sight. And so what they want to see is a fucking green dildo candle with it going up. But anybody who has vision and knows how a market works, you wait for an asset that's been in a downward declining trend. You pick it up when you see, like we saw a beautiful bullish divergence come here. You look, my drawing's still there. Here's where we were taking entry points, and then bam, you see a 40% gain in almost a day and a half, right? And that's what's vision. Vision tells you to buy low and sell at a high. Fucking most people just see highs and want to start buying, like, oh my god, Bitcoin's at 7,000 to 8,000, just gonna give me, I want to buy Bitcoin. When you want, like, the whole point and strategy of acquiring wealth is to buy things that are undervalued, underappreciated, invest into them, and then wait till they go up. right? It's the best way to go. You don't want to just buy at the top, or you want to be able to sell at the top and redistribute your wealth. And I think that's what a huge part of everyone in the Arcane Bear family that has learned from what we do together is how to, again, manage your own wealth. You know, again, like I said, we have some from 18-year-old kids who have no money and they're on their first job that need to buy $25 of Bitcoin at a time, to friends that have assets that are in the tens of millions of dollars. How everyone plays in this space is totally fucking different. Everyone's ability to assess risk, hold for long term is totally different. There's no easy way to like have just one blanket statement for such a large crew of people. And like I said, most of the people that follow Arcane Bear are 35 to 65. That means a lot of the people that are interested in this space, that are interested in what I do, have already acquired a shit ton of wealth. I think it's why a lot of our viewership of the younger ages don't fit here, because I think we cater to people that have more wealth on the table already. But I want the younger generations to be interested. That's why I suggest, I don't care whether it's at $7,000 or whether it's at $1,000, you should be buying $25 a week. Because at least you'll learn more about it. That way, if it runs up, you're like, cool, I was part of that experience. And you'll get to feel the emotions of the greed and the fear that take place when everything goes up and down. And that's one of the most valuable lessons you can take from this space. Ninja says, I just realized the only reason you hate ES so much is you don't use the MACD or the RSG journal. That's the reason for that. You don't put much faith in the leg in the case. Oh no, actually here, look at this. So for those of you that don't know, I actually use the RSI. I don't use the MACD. This is a variation of the MACD. This is a multi-time frame moving average convergent divergent chart that I have up here. It's a different variation of it. This is the RSI, and this is basically shows me where the market sentiment is. So currently the market sentiment is in no man's land. Like, see here, there's no particular color. When it's gray like this, it means we're in no man's land. We have no sentiment. When it's purple, this is buy for me, and yellow and orange are sell. So if you double click on the screen here though, this is actually how you can move between charts. So I actually have all of those added to my chart, but I'll often open it up and just have the my exponential moving averages, my VPR, and my sell clouds, or my buy cloud. So buy cloud is down here, sell cloud is down here, depending on which way that buy and sell cloud is actually being broken. When we have this is the buy. Purple is obviously positive indicator. So when we break through the purple on the side, it means downtrend. If we break through it on the top, it means up. This kind of thing. Anyways, so no, I have all those indicators on here all the time. You just have to double click on your screen to show them or to hide them. So I actually use them all the time. I prefer to have a larger viewpoint on what's going on in the space. So again, if we roll in to Bitcoin on the 30-minute, as we can see, it was having troubles getting above the first outer claw of the bear claw. So that's that's a bullish, or sorry, that's a bearish sign. But again, we're bouncing right between these two EMAs. So I think watching the 30 and the 15-minute EMA right now is probably the best way to see what happens over the next few hours, because even on the 15-minute EMA, and we're stuck right between these two. If we can't get above this one and we come back down here to test, this is going to give a clear indication of what happens next. Ontology. Okay, I'll take a look at ontology. Have you looked at Decentraland Mana? Yeah, I think Decentraland is really interesting. Again, they've done the whole gaming space, I think, is going to explode. Augmented reality, virtual reality. We'll go from there. $20,000 is not enough money. No, hundreds of millions of dollars is not enough money, depending on what you want, what kind of difference you want to make in the world. I mean, that's all money is really good for, is how to make a difference in the world. Nathan says, I paid for Xmas presents on Overstock at 19,000. Yeah, that's how you take profits, right? Enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's important. Let's see. Here we go. Next person lined up for the show. Well, we've got Brock Pierce lined up for June 11th. I'm chatting with Leah and Tyler for what day we can book with them, so no tentative dates. We're chatting with Didi. We're chatting with a few other traders. We're just going to try to bring as many people on the show as humanly possible and go from there. I think you're right about Bitcoin. I sold all my Litecoin 88 for BTC, looking for a good price to get back in. My guess is LTC. So again, yeah, with this, guys, I don't really look at anything else as a long-term hold. I look at it as the way to acquire more Bitcoin, because you see such massive spikes spikes in things like Litecoin and Raven, right? We saw a 600% run in Raven the last time we took that little birdie out for a flight. So I keep my eye on what can earn me more Bitcoin. Russ is asking, we have Engine ready to do a podcast. Oh, nice. And we've got, I think either the CEO or the CTO of Engine ready for a podcast as well. We can go over. So we've got a bunch of great podcasts and interviews lined up for you guys. Thank you so much for being so supportive of the Arcane Bear. Gently click that thumbs up button. Remember to give your loved ones a hug or a high five or a bro fist for PewDiePie, the one and only. I think that it's important to remember why life is valuable to one another, and it's because of each other. We'll go from there. It says, you guys, someone says you skip so many comments. Yeah, because there's a lot of comments that don't deserve attention, and there's a lot of comments in general. So I pick up ones that I can run with easier. I can't answer all of your guys' questions. It'd be impossible to do. Again, I'm deeply grateful for all of your support. On the next live show tomorrow, we're going to give away a free, some free memberships to the Arcane Bear Club. The private Bear Den members, and we'll probably give away a free t-shirt too. So for those of you that haven't, please go to arcanebear.com. You can sign up for our free newsletter. If you want, you can try to go to Access the Den. You can sign up for our paid membership. We're going to give away some t-shirts tomorrow too, so you can check out our swag. We've got I love this clothing. Here you can see the cool Arcane Bear, the art that's behind me here as well. It's just beautiful stuff. We're actually getting that same artist to produce a panda bear and an arcane koala bear too. So he's just going to keep producing different arcane bears for us. So we have choices of swag for all of you that might be fans of different types of bears. Anyways, I thank you guys so much. It means a great deal. It means a great deal for me to have all this community support. You guys are my family, and I know you're all around the world in different places, but please know that you make a difference in my life by showing up, leaving comments. I want to apologize to all the haters who I'm probably sometimes a little bit too rough with. I wish you the best in finding a way to be happier with life. This is what I'm trying to do as well. Anyways, I will leave it at that. Thank you guys all so much. Arcane Bear, ladies and gentlemen.